You're welcome. Jai Baba, I want to welcome everyone to our celebration of our Bob Brown, who was a singer-songwriter and performer and just an extraordinary lover of Meher Baba. And for those of us who had the opportunity to spend time with him, I'm so grateful everyone's here so we can share some of that. There just was an incredible energy to Bob. And it was all directed to Baba, which was something for me as a young Baba lover to see. So, all right, I'm going to just let you know what the program is. We're going to have a little video about Bob, and then a little sharing from Jane. She's not here, but I have a sharing from last year and a little bio about Bob's background. And then we'll all come together and share some music. So without any further ado, I want to say, Jai Baba, glad you're here.
1, 2, 3. Hi there, joy, a little baby boy is born unto thee, unto thee, unto thee, unto thee, unto thee. Look on world, liquid eyes to unfurl the purest love for all. He's for all. He's for all. He's for all. He's for all. Clad in white, he's the creation's delight. He is the one in all. Let us heed his call. 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 Let's heed his call, let's heed his call. Meher Baba sings the universal saga. Bring your heart to him. Lay it at his feet. Lay it at his feet. Lay it at his feet. His feet, laid at his feet. Hi there, joy, a little baby boy is born unto thee, unto thee. You're the very sun behind the soon rising sun. let us try to give our hearts to you. Every star reflects the glory of your smile. Let us ask only to be happy. If I knew I really loved you, I wouldn't mind the pain to wait 1,000 years to touch your face, to feel your grace, to have a trace of your love. You're the ancient one whose past is worshipped and remembered, but whose present is ignored and forgotten, and whose future advent is anticipated with great fervor and longing. If I knew I really loved you, I wouldn't mind the pain to wait 1,000 years to touch your face, to feel your grace, to have a trace of your love. Touch your face, to feel your grace, to have a trace of your love. Round the earth your love is flowing as a river wide and deep, making full and rich the harvest that each at time's end will reap. The light of new day now is dawning, as a heavenly flower rare. In its heart we are discerning your face, Baba, dear and fair. You're the ancient one whose past is worshipped and remembered, but whose present is ignored and forgotten, and whose future advent is anticipated with great fervor and longing. If I knew I really loved you, I wouldn't mind the pain to wait 1,000 years to touch your face, to feel your grace, to have a trace of your love. To touch your face, to feel your grace, to have a trace of your love.
Jay Baba. I was just going to show a little, oh, there's Kathy. Hey, Kathy. A little clip from Jane and a small bio that someone wrote and sent for us. So that's this piece.
I'll sing a song. The poem is Josephinas to Ross, is Anne Ross's mother. And the music was written by Bob Brown, the guy we're talking about today. I saw a star was shining In the evening sky, raised a hand in greeting to Baba throned on high, to Baba throned on high. I heard a robin singing in a leafy tree. I love to hear the silent one singing songs to me, singing songs to me. I saw a dewdrop glisten in a rose unfurled. I grieved to see the Holy One weeping for the world, weeping for the world. Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba. Well, that has me weeping. That was gorgeous. Thank you. Hey, Baba. Okay. Well, anything else you wanted to share? If you had any thoughts or stories, and I don't want to hold you because I don't know if you're on duty today.
I'm fine. I'm here for a while.
Okay, great. All right,
And
sweetheart.
so is Bob. Bob Mossman.
Yes.
Hey,
We're glad.
Janie, why don't you
Yes?
tell us a little about Bob's background, where he was born, where he grew up, that kind of thing.
Okay. Well, he was born in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, and he grew up there. He had a hard childhood. His mom was not real nice to him. She wanted to be famous, a classical pianist, and she ended up being a mom instead. So he had a hard time, and he ended up wanting to be famous. So the story about him wanting to be famous was we went to New York City, where I lived for a while, where he and I got together in 1980-ish, and we went into a music publisher's office, and the guy said to him, "The thing that's standing between you and success is this desk." And Bob got so mad, we left the place, he took a Christmas brownie and he threw it at the door. He threw it at the door, and that was it for us. I said, we're going to Myrtle Beach. So that's how we ended up back here. Yeah, he didn't have an easy time, but he did grow up in a beautiful area in Pennsylvania, which Ruth knows about.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
We do have a little something from John Prettyman that Larry was going to read. My husband Larry, a little something that John wrote. So Larry, if you would unmute yourself and just read that quickly for us, or as
Okay.
slow as you would like.
It was sometime in 1966 or early 1967, I think. We lived in the Westchester, Pennsylvania area. Kitty told Frank Blas, I don't know how to pronounce his name, and myself that a
Nice.
Baba devotee, Bob Brown, worked in the Powley pet shop not far away. So we went over one day and Bob was there and we introduced ourselves. From then on, Bob was a regular at my house on a stream in a rural area, and we all became tight friends. We were coming together as a small group of Baba devotees in a 40-mile radius. I was at Frank and Diana's apartment when we first heard of Baba from one of their friends who was passing through from Chapel Hill. Maureen and Paul Hurley in Westchester, we found. Grant and Heather Berger had an India import clothing store in Westchester called Don't Worry, Be Happy. Frank and I met them after seeing the sign. Bruce and Gilda Kelsey were just over the Delaware border. Joe and Ellen DiSabatino were close by too, and John Dennison occasionally. Bob was unique, to say the least. I thought he was a minor lunatic, and so outgoing and exuberant and 100% devoted to Baba. There was no doubting that. We were all on our honeymoons with Baba, a very heady time, love prevailed, God realization just around the next corner. Bob banged on a guitar, just beginning to learn how to play, and sang songs he composed for Baba. He spoke about music and Baba and how he aspired to write Baba songs and make recordings. To me, he sounded like an absolute beginner at music, not much of a voice either. I guess he actually was a beginner, but oh, what devotion and confidence in his vision. I was blown away when just a fast few years later, he was producing such beautiful and powerful music. I'm thinking of Victory Unto Thee at the moment, and all the other amazing songs. As a hobby, I had been building classical type guitars. Bob was playing a heavy factory guitar that didn't have much tonal quality. And when he played one of mine, he fell in love with the rich vibrancy, said he had to have it ready to buy. So I gave it to him. It was my first guitar with a couple of flaws built in, but nice in tone. I don't remember how long he was in that area. Seems like maybe a year or two before he moved, maybe to Myrtle Beach, not sure. A few things I remember: having meals with us at our house and liberally pouring Parmesan cheese over the food on his plate. When I mentioned how he must love the cheese, he said he couldn't stand the cheese. He couldn't stand Parmesan, and he thought Baba wanted him to shun worldly pleasures, so best to make the food as unenjoyable as possible. I remember him talking about how he loathed his father's factory, textile, I think, overcome with a dark foreboding whenever he saw it. So naturally, he got a job there and stayed till he could stand it no longer. He was a lunatic, and his devotion to Baba was quite obvious and intense. We were also at the last darshan together and were assigned to share a room in a hotel in Pune. I remember we were invited to dinner by a friendly non-Baba person. He was an electrical engineer and was hoping I could help him find a job in the US as a prerequisite to him getting a visa. I was later able to send him job information. He wanted to show us how a college graduate, not from a wealthy family, lived in Pune. When his family was ready, we moved him down a series of alleys to their small place, 2 rooms as I recollect, with a very small kitchen. 3 generations lived there, at least 10 of them. Bob and I and our host sat on the floor while the women brought containers of food, which we ate from leaves on the floor with our fingers, which was all new to us. Our host showed us very carefully how it was done. Some of the food was like fire, probably as good as the sharp cheese route for Bob. The rest of the family sat around on the floor and beds and watched as we ate. What a dear man. Later, I could see him at the center, Baba's troubadour. What a beautiful soul. Devotion pouring out, album after album. Jai Baba.
Well, that was a little bit of information. I'm sure some of you know and some of you don't know, so I wanted to bring that first thing today. Okay, I'm going to just ask people that would like to share a story, song. I just put in the chat how to raise your hand, and I see Bob is ready to go. Go ahead.
Thanks. I had 2 short things. One was a story that Bob related once, sometime at the center. He mentioned that he was walking around and he thought he'd go down to the boathouse, and it was a pretty day, and sit in the boathouse. And when he got down there, he noticed Margaret Krask was inside. Now, if it had been me and I saw that Margaret Krask was inside, there's no way I would have gone into the boathouse. But that didn't stop Bob, so he went in and sat across from her, looking out at the lake. And he made a few stabs at conversation and got nothing. And finally, he said to her, he said, you know, Baba likes us to talk together. And she paused and looked at him and said, Baba was silent. It's just, you know, Bob could just go straight ahead. And the other thing I wanted to relate was towards the end of his life, this is before I think he was diagnosed or had a problem. Jane and Bob both came out to our house. We're living in Loris, which is about 20 miles from Myrtle Beach, several times. And the children, our girls were very young. And they, on their own, went upstairs after the girls were in bed and sang lullabies to them separately in each of their rooms, which is, of course, really sweet and meant a lot to them. And later, when Bob was ill and dying and barely responsive, the girls wanted to, and so we took them to see him there. And they still remember that, actually, even though they were very small. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, thank you. Yeah, such wonderful connections. I could just see them running up to sing lullabies. It's just so up their alley. Jai Baba. Joe?
Jai Baba, everyone. This is one of my favorite Bob Brown songs, so I thought I would play that. You are born to every man will feel your love. Every man will feel your love, your love, your love, your love. Every age you come to us to instill your love in us, so that we may be true to the trust you repose in us. Love divine, so pure, always will endure the passage of time until you come again. And once more, you are born to every man will feel your love. Every man will feel your love, your love, your love, your love. Every age it's just the same. You come back to play your game, winning hearts to you, the divine beloved. Worthy of love, 'cause you are love, divine love. All the stars above could never shine as bright as your smile. Yet once in a while, you are born to every man. Every man will feel your love. Every man will feel your love, your love, your love, your love. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Beautiful, Joe. Now, I think Bob knew that every man would feel his love. Baba's love. Jai Baba, Gabrielle.
Jai Baba, Joe, that was so beautiful. Thank you. Love that song too. Everyone was singing along. I don't know if you noticed, but we all love that song, and you played it so beautifully. So I usually sing, but actually I have two stories about Bob today. I missed the last, I think you did another thing on Bob, and I didn't get a chance to tell my stories. So, I mean, there's many, and they also involve Jane, because Bob and Jane were together a lot when they were working in the cabins, and I was new to the Baba Center. It was 1990 or 89, perhaps. And they were always telling me about Bob while they were cleaning up in the original kitchen or doing whatever it was and going on. And they always were saying, you have to go to India. You must go to India. And I was really quite new to really having accepted Bob. I knew about Bob a long time. And so I went, and it was at the same time they were there. And it was before the Dooney, and I had started making lists of all the things I was going to put in the Dooney because I had so many faults, and I just started to get really depressed and upset, and I whatever Baba was working on me, I was like, I cannot stay. I have to leave this place. This is terrible. It's bad. I have to get out of here. So I'm in the dining hall, and it's like a couple of days before the Dooney. And Bob comes over and says, how's your trip going? And I said, it's terrible. I can't believe you ever convinced me to come here. This is bad. And, and he looked at me and he goes, you think we're having a good time? Think of it as a prison term. You have to just live this out, And it was just so perfect. And so it slapped me in the right direction. And once I put my chip in the Dooney, I felt much, much better. But I just loved that response just off the cuff like that. And my other story with Bob is that right at the end of his life, he was in Myrtle Beach, and I was always very shy about going. And somebody said, "You have to go see Bob. This is your last chance." So I went, and there were a lot of people there. And it was, I don't remember, my memory was like a large living room. I mean, Jane might be able to, but anyway, Bob was there, and there was in a circle, there were different people, and everybody was going around and speaking to Bob, and I was very shy and everything, but I went over, and he said to me, Gabriella, my guitar is in the shop for a while, but it will be back. So that was, the last. Oh, he also said to me, and this was before my accident, he said, you have to let people help you. And I didn't know what that meant, but later that became very significant when I had my accident and was paralyzed and really needed a lot of help. So anyway, love you, Bob. Love you, everybody else. It's great to be here thinking about his lovely presence.
Beautiful, Gabriella. You really brought some essence of Bob that I think a lot of us saw. He was one of the most profoundly deep, insighted people into people that I knew. He could come into a room and well, anyway, he just had that quality. It was just amazing. Thank you very much. You think we're having a good time. Duke and Melinda, good morning. Jai Baba.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. I'm glad you're here.
I really enjoyed those offerings. Thank you for those stories too. I shared my birthday with Bob, so I'm very excited to be here. Happy birthday to Bob.
Which is Monday,
Which
4/4.
is tomorrow. And do you have a story?
Oh yeah, I can tell a quick story about Bob. Let's see. For a while, Jane was living in an apartment on the Upper West Side of New York City in 79, 1980, around then. And I ended up renting a room in that apartment. So for a while, Jane and I were roommates. But right before I moved in, I dropped by because the guy on the lease was a mutual friend of ours. And when I dropped in, Fred, his name was, and Fred said, "Oh, Jane's just in her room with Bob. Why don't you go visit with them?" So I walked down down the hallway and knocked on Jane's bedroom door, and she said, "Come on in."
And so I come in and the two of them are in their pajamas sitting on the mattress and the floor. It was just such a picture, the two of them. And of course, Bob had his guitar in his hand, as he always did every time I saw him. And who showed up about 10, 15 minutes later was Raphael Rudd. And so we had like sort of a mini sort of reunion, unexpected, completely impromptu. But Jane had an upright piano in her bedroom. And so Raph and I played four hands and Bob played the guitar, and we did a blues in C, as I remember. And that was, I think, maybe the last time I saw Bob in New York, because I think they moved down to Myrtle Beach very soon after that. And then we saw him many times at the center, thereafter. But I'll always remember that picture of the two of them in their pajamas sitting on the mattress on the floor in that New York City apartment. So we're going to play a song by Bob called I'm Yours, which we have played before for some of you. Can we get our picture instead of?
We're almost there. I think that. All right, Jay Baba. You wonder where I sleep. I sleep within your heart. And all the world is mine, but I'm yours. You burn your candle bright, yet I'm the source of light. All the stars are mine, but I'm yours. The ages pass, the sages ask, they say, when will you come again? I say when the lion lies to the land, and when on truth you'll take a stand, I'll be there. You wonder who like you, and I'm the one you colored. All the world is yours if you are mine. You live in the universe. You adore my grandest works. The only work I do is to draw you to me. Ages pass, the sages ask, they say, when will you come again? I say when the lion lies with the lamb, and when on truth you'll take a stand, I'll be there. You wonder where I sleep. I sleep within your heart. All the world is mine, but I'm You wonder where I sleep. I sleep Jai Baba.
You have a second song? Do you want to do it or come back, or what's your delight?
Well, the only Bob song that we have in addition to that one is the one Joe played. So if you're interested in a reprise of that, he's a hard act to follow, but we're willing.
Oh, good, because it's so good to hear different styles of, the interpretation. Please do.
Okay.
You sure? Okay. It is a slightly different version, so
Joe played so beautifully.
yeah, that was beautiful. That was totally original. You are born to everyone. Everything will feel your love. Everything will feel your love, your love, your love, You are born to everyone. Everything will feel your love. Everyone will feel your love, your love, your love, your love. Every age you come to us to instill your love in us, so that we may be true to the trust you repose in us. Love divine, so pure, always will endure the passage of time until you come again. And once more, you are born to everyone. Everything will feel your love. Everything will feel your love, your love, your love, your love. Every age it's just the same. You came back to play your game, winning hearts to you. Divine beloved, worthy of love, for you are love. Divine love, all the stars above could never shine as bright as your smile. Once in a while, you are born to everyone. Everything will feel your love. Everything will feel your love, your love, your love, your love. You are born to everyone. Everything will feel your love. Everything will feel your love, your love, your love, your love.
Yes, fantastic. Hey, Baba. It's like a new song every time. Baba's love brings that. Thank you so much.
Thank
Good to see you both again. My husband was very excited when he heard the bass. He had to run in here to see who is that. Thank you, Jay Baba. All right, we've got Chris Barker. Jay Baba, Chris.
Hey, Bob. Can you let me share the screen? I'll show some pictures of Bob here.
Love it. Yeah, let me see where you are. Here you are. Okay, there you go. Whoops, almost. There we go. Are these the ones you sent me?
They are.
Good,
Are
show
you
them.
going to show them?
No, you
Pardon?
got it. You got it. You do it.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So what we've got here is a Saturday night at the center in about 1971. And there's Bob in the middle here, wailing away on the guitar, and Tom Rogers over here. After the program, the movie on Saturday night, everybody would rush over to the original kitchen and have snacks and then listen to Bob Brown's latest hit. So he was writing songs, multiple songs every month, it seemed like. So we would have a good time over there. There's a close-up of Bob. And so I took these pictures in about 1971. And then in 1990, Ann and I went to India, and here's a picture of Bob and Jane with Alu. And the ladies' day at the Samadhi at Arti, the women mandali coming, and Bob Brown is up here, Bob and Jane right there. And here's a close-up of the two of them, Bob and Jane. Happy days there at Arti. They were having a good time. And I'm gonna do a song for you.
Hey, Chris, before you do, I just wanted to say the second shot of the close-up of Bob and his guitar, you could see pictures of Mayor Baba pasted on, taped. Did you see that?
Hopefully the folks saw that. And
Yeah,
that guitar, if I'm not mistaken, let's see, in 71, it might have been the guitar that Kathy will hopefully show us later in the program, that Kathy got from Bob Brown. Bob's Gibson guitar. So that might have been that guitar that he was playing at that time.
Chris,
Okay.
can you show us the picture again for those of us that didn't see it?
I think it was the second one.
Let's see.
Actually, can you show the first one and say who all the rest of the people are who were there?
And let's see, this one.
Yes. Who were the rest of
Okay.
the
Yeah. So there's Bob Brown right there. Tom Rogers, the old carpenter from Georgia who sang "Bob Has Come to Lift Us Out of Jail," and then there's Jerry Llewellyn's head right there. And this young man, I remember his face, but I don't know his name. Anybody know who that is?
Which one?
This guy right here, the one that's standing up and playing the guitar. I don't know if you can see my pointer or not. The one that's standing up and playing the guitar. Don't remember his name.
What year was it?
So there's the guitar. Yeah, there's the guitar, and there's Baba's picture pasted onto the guitar. At least one of the pictures that's pasted on his guitar.
Another one right here.
I don't think that's the one that is Kathy's guitar, because Kathy's guitar that she got from him was it had a red top. That doesn't quite look red. Okay. So I'm going to try to do a song here, and I'm going to plug in this fancy microphone, but I think I won't be able to hear you. So give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. So can you hear all right? Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So here's a song with a good message for all of us. Plea to Baba. Dear Baba, the sleepless one is so sleepy that he hides in our hearts, he hides for our keeping. Hide he may, but we hide him with all our desires. Oh, Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within
within my heart. Oh, Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. Oh, Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. How he waits to awake himself within our hearts. But he waits till we wake up so we can find him. And when we're wide awake, we find he's never been sleeping. Oh, Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. Oh, Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. Oh, Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. How he looks for a room to stay within our hearts. Knocking at all the doors, he finds our hotel full. So he walks on his way, he can't stay with strangers. Oh, Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. Oh, Baba, Baba, wake up to stay within my heart. Jai Baba.
Chris, would you show that second photo with them in the mandali, the women, and say who the mandali are?
Okay. So we have the women mandali here. Down here is Mani. I don't know if you can see my pointer. Can you see my pointer?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's Mani down there. And then Arnavas right here with the dark hair. Go here, Meru, Katie, and a lot of happy pilgrims, including dear Dorothy. And oh, what's her name?
Yeah, Marianne McDougal.
Mary Lloyd. Mary Lloyd Dugan.
Mary Lloyd.
Well,
Mary
Kristen-
Lloyd, yay! Oh.
There's Rainey.
Kristen Crawford, you were pointing to next to the post.
Yeah, it's not Mary Lloyd.
Oh, it isn't?
Oh, it's not?
No, it's
No,
Kristen
no,
Crawford.
that is Mary Lloyd. That is Mary Lloyd right here. That's Mary Lloyd.
It's definitely Mary Lloyd. No, she does a good double.
And this
And that
I
is
don't know.
Dorothy
Terry
Cass-
Lucas. Terry Lucas with
Terry
the short
Yeah,
hair.
Terry Lucas.
Yeah, and orange shirts.
Rainey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's Terry
Yeah, of
Lucas.
course, Rainey sitting down there.
with Franietta.
And
yeah.
Yeah.
Yetta. Yep. And then in the back row, there's Janaki right there.
Oh, yeah.
Janaki.
Yeah, Janet. Yeah.
I'm not sure who that is, but she's probably maybe the mother of this girl, perhaps. I don't
She looks
know.
like Georgine. Georgine Estrin.
Oh, you're right. She does.
Yeah, she looks like her.
Hmm. What fun.
And
Who
then
is next to Dr. Gohair?
this one is right here is Meru.
Uh-huh. And Arnavaz on the other side.
Yeah.
Arnavaz right there. Yeah. And Jane looks so lovely in this picture.
Yeah.
Bob looks so happy.
Which year is this? Because I don't see Mira.
Oh, yeah, what year is it? 1990, I'm sorry. Yeah,
1990, yes. So Mira was already gone, left, yeah.
Right, that's right.
And who are the two people toward the back? A woman and a man with a mustache.
Don't know.
That's Frank Blois. And
Frank
I think
Lloyd.
it's Frank Blois, and I think it's Diana.
No, I don't think it's
Thanks,
Frank
Dana.
Blois.
And that is Dorothy Cassidy, who's sitting above
Yes.
Rainey's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right here. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Mm.
Yep.
All right. Well, Betty, do you have something you wanted to share?
Just a quick story that I heard from Bob when he was at LA Sahavas. He said that he got the notion to go. There was there was kind of a sleazy reptile place that sold and I don't know, along the main drag at Myrtle Beach, sold reptiles. So he went in and he bought all the turtles. He bought all of them and brought them all back to the center in a I think a plastic swimming pool or something, and then let them all go on the beach. He said he thought he was making points with Elizabeth. He was sure Elizabeth was going to like that. That's just the story I remember.
Great story. Yeah, I hung out with Bob, I guess, in 1970 when I met him, and I was just so afraid of everything outside, all the bugs, all the, everything. And he really, just put a different idea in my mind. And it just helped me accept and get over fear, which he really... Well, this was, I'd like to do this song. This was something everybody always sang. Bob was so great. I got you on my mind. Someday I'll see you. Someday I'll see your smiling face in your sparkling sun. I got you in my heart. Someday I'll know you. Someday I'll know my real self, only to be you. Meher Baba's love, Meher Baba's love, Meher Baba's love, Meher Baba's love.
Whoa. Oh, sorry, Ruthie. I did that. Ruthie, you need to unmute. Ruthie, I did it. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was trying to mute myself. I'm sorry.
I do it all the time. Don't worry about it.
Play it
Baba's
again, Sam.
love, Mayor Baba's 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 love, Mayor Baba is love. You're in everything, everything lies in you. Let us aspire to know your love and to live your life. We got you in our hearts. Someday we'll know you. Someday we'll know our real self, only to be you. Meher Baba's love, 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 Meher Baba is love. I want to hear everybody sing Meher Baba's love, 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 Meher Baba's love,
May her Baba's love, may her Baba
His love.
I want to hear everybody sing now. Judy Robertson, J Baba.
Hey, Baba, everyone. And thank you. What a great introduction. Mayor Baba's love. That's what I want to share from a different angle about Bob and Mayor Baba's love. And we just had the musical, and of course his music, it's still a soundtrack of my own life. I think I listened to my old tapes of Bob and Jane singing together when I drive more than any other music. At any rate, so his music is so wonderful, and that's most likely how he'll be remembered, you know, for hopefully generations to come. But so many of you probably also experienced the era when Bob and Jane were part of the cabin crew, an essential part of the cabin crew at the center. But that's not where I met them. Baba had me on quite a waiting path for the first almost 20 years that I was wholly in his camp, meaning that he had me wait for 17 years to get to India. And I had great longing during that time. And that's where I met Bob and Jane. And I'd never been to Myrtle Beach. I live in Seattle and have been a West Coast kid when I came to him in Berkeley the day he dropped his body in '69. So I met them first in both Bob and Jane in India at Mehrabad. And then he had me wait another 2 years to get to Myrtle Beach Center. And when I've never forgotten when it's tiny. This is a tiny memory, but deeply significant to me because I walked in, I'd been assigned a room and I knew nothing about where any of the rooms were, or that some rooms were so-called special and others not. And I walked in to women's dorm number 3. And when I opened the door, this incredible fragrance of Baba's love just totally enveloped me. And every single detail was so lovingly placed. I felt Baba's love just totally embraced me. And I could feel really the love with the way that the linens were stacked, the pillow was made perfectly aligned with this and that. And there had been flowers placed in the room and so forth. And it was so beautifully embracing after really what had been such a long journey to get to the center. You know, I totally loved as best I could Baba for 19 years and finally got to the center. And it was only a couple of days later when I met Bob and Jane in their little cart that they were driving, and they shared with me that they knew that I was going to stay in that room and that they especially prepared it for me. My hunch is they do that for everyone. But it was this beautiful example of what both of them put into practice that I'm sure both Elizabeth and Kitty would have been so pleased with, that they prepared it, I'm certain, as if Baba himself were going to stay there, or Mara. And I felt it, and it was Baba's gift to me through Bob and Jane. And I've really never forgotten the deep, sweet love that came wafting as soon as I opened the door, and then the whole time I was in there. So that's just this tiny little vignette that I think speaks very loudly of who, one facet of who Bob Brown is. Jai Baba.
Beautiful story. And I think everybody was feeling it. I really was in the room with you, and I could see where the chair was set inside the near the desk, the way all of it just, Baba's love just comes flying out of all that in the rooms. And then that loving piece that I remember Wendy telling the story about her putting her, Elizabeth directing her to sit on the bed and put her feet on the floor, and then put the rug where her feet landed so that the person who was getting out of bed, and just that amazing preparation of love for Baba, as if you say Baba's arriving. Yeah. And, just, I can't say enough about the sensitivity of Bob Brown. I mean, he wrote like a genius, but his sensitivity of people, I don't know if anybody else, but I remember going to the center once, and there was a woman that was there, and she was very wired, would be the kind way to say it. She was so wired, and it went on from, I had to leave. As soon as I noticed what was happening, we were all kind of standing together, and she was just so wired and just talking and talking, and I had to leave the group because I just couldn't take that energy. And then at lunch, still this was happening. And then after dinner, still this woman had this incredible drive, whatever it was. And somebody went and talked to Bob. I don't know if he was the night watchman, but he came down to the kitchen. I can still see him walking into the original kitchen, and her sitting in a little seat there, kind of with this intensity. And as soon as he came in, it was like he just commanded the room in his own quiet, peaceful way. He just commanded your eye to go to him. And he walked over to the woman, and I don't remember, I think he just took her hands and said, come with me. And so she did. And Bob just talked to her quietly as they left the room. And it was such an intense thing for this woman that I know Kitty and Elizabeth asked her to leave, basically, and to come back again, but not to stay this particular time. But Bob just had the insight. Whatever he said or how he approached this woman, you could just see everything just kind of fall off of her as she held his hands and left. I don't know. I know others saw this, but I was just so always taken by that sensitive nature and his understanding of human beings. His heart was so big. Joe, yay.
Well, this is another one of my favorite. I have so many favorite songs of Bob and Jane's. This is the song for St. Francis. I think of you, I often do, St. Francis. Your love was true, you never knew it was food you chose to take, you threw ashes on your plate. And if you laid down your head upon your bed, all that you had was the rock of your soul. Saint Francis. Well, the animals came, they knew your name, Saint Francis. The lame men crawled, the blind men saw you, Francis. If it was miles you had to roam, you made the barren land your home. And if you took for yourself, you took for the wealth of having nothing but love. Saint Francis. So I think of you, I often do, Saint Francis. Your love was true, you never knew your chances. Please let me share my only chance to revere your sacred stance. And may the little animals come to know you are one with the Son of Mankind. And may the lame and the blind come to see the light of his compassion, the light of his compassion. It's true. Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba. One of my favorites as well. Thank you, Joe. Kathy Riley. Jai Baba. Just need you to unmute.
Okay, so this is Bob's old Gibson Hummingbird. What Chris said was true, that, you know, that must have been a different guitar he had in the meeting place, but this used to have a sort of a pasted on butterfly that Bob called Flutterby the Butterfly, which after a couple of years of having the guitar, playing it, I took the butterfly off, but it's my pride and joy and carries great vibes. And before going any further, I'd just love to say, since I'm thinking of Tom, that Bob and Tom were great buddies, spent a lot of time together, and felt that they knew each other in Ramakrishna's ashram, and they felt that was their connection. They both were very devoted to Ramakrishna before hearing about Meher Baba, so that's a wonderful thing for me to think about them. You know, the beginning of Victory Unto Thee many years ago. So Betty told the story about the turtles, and that actually happened to me and Bob and Annie. Bob went to there was a place called Reptile World south of the center, and Bob went and bought all the box turtles with me and Annie Weld-Bell, and appeared at Dilruba, knocked on the door. Elizabeth looked quite surprised, and then Bob said, "Could we release these behind your house? I think they'd be much happier on the center." And Elizabeth was just thrilled because, you know, she loved animals so much. So that was that. Betty, that reminded me of that wonderful day that we released about 20 box turtles into the lake behind Dilruba. Bob loved reptiles. You know, that was, he worked in a herpetarium, is that what you called it? Up in Philadelphia, I think. He just, you know, snakes and turtles and you name it. He just loved those creatures.
Remember the little book that he made about the turtle's darshan.
Right, right. Yeah, so there you go. That's right. And the turtle was the one who got to the barn steps. Yeah. Oh, I'd say my favorite memory of singing with Bob in the earlier years was that we were singing in the old meeting place, and Bob got into a frenzy. Somehow we were singing Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog. I just remember that. And, strumming madly away on our guitars. And Bob got overcome with the joy of Joy to the World. And, he would sort of fall down there was a little stage there. He fell down, feet, flailing up in the air, shoes flying off, different colored socks. Usually he never seemed to be able to match his socks. And, the guitar is on his stomach as he's singing on his back. And, I'm standing there doing the best I can to add harmonies nearby. And I look out, and Elizabeth and Jane are sitting in the audience, and Elizabeth is just doubled over in laughter. And, Elizabeth Patterson lost it. And that was a wonderful memory of how much she enjoyed Bob Brown. So that's a very special, happy memory. Singing with Bob was really, I'd say, a highlight of my early life with Mayor Baba. And as many of you have heard, I invited Bob to come with me and actually Ralph Jackson. We went out to my mom's ancestral stomping grounds, 2 hours west of Myrtle Beach. And in the study of the big house, Bob found the poetry book that had I Envy Every Grain of Sand in it, that was actually connected to my grandfather's poetry student at Coker College. He came home that night after copying 2 poems that he made into this one song, which when I would sing it for Mara really became one of her favorite songs at that time. So it reminds me of Bob connected me with my birth family through the poem found in my granddad's study, and with Mara, who loved this song. I envy every grain of sand your foot has trod upon, every shoulder that your hand has lightly rested on, every word your hands have formed, every flower your kiss has warmed, but most of all your dear delight, the stars that shine for you at night, for you at night. Try to keep something lovely, something deep in my soul, for you to see if ever you should look at me. But I faltered at your gaze, blushed, and turned aside my face, for all the beauty that I knew was the beauty that is you. Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba.
Baba. Even though that's a poem that he found, it certainly seems to speak to his connection to Mayor Baba, that incredible sweetness. It just...
Thank you, Baba.
Well, I wonder if anybody here remembers Horse Bites. I just all of a sudden remembered horse bites because Bob would reach over and squeeze your knee, right above your knee, and say, horse bite, horse bite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Bob just couldn't, he just had that incredible energy. Thank you, Kathy. What a beautiful song that is. Jai Baba. All right, Rosalie, Jai Baba.
Oh, yeah. I had in the 70s, that was the first time I came to the center here, Myrtle Beach. And I had different times that I came, and they were like pilgrimages. And some of them were really grim pilgrimages. And I remember in one, I just felt so dark, night of the soul. And speaking of sensitivity, Bob picked up on it and he got up there. I was down by the bridge in the lagoon, and he just poured out song after song after song. I don't know that anyone else was around, but he just picked up that, I needed to feel the dance and not the dread, grim. It was, I find that interesting. So to me, he was like, he may have wanted to be like a whatever rock star, very popular. And of course he is, but to me, it was almost like joy overpouring, spilling over his music, whether it was about St. Francis or, what you might say more touching, but he was like kind of a child of Baba's universe. It was like a child. And I liked, and I just thought about it since this whole thing, hearing all these comments on him. I loved that he could make Jim Meyer laugh. I loved that. I loved it. Nothing sarcastic, but he could make Jim Meyer laugh because he had such a childlike enthusiasm in his, what he felt was funny, like falling on his back, like a turtle, And I think I must have seen in the course of this sharing, I saw Jim Meyer laughing. I mean, like joyfully laughing. And I thought, wow, that's true. He could make Jim Meyer laugh like that. And that was just a delightful feat, He was a child, very old child, but he was a child in Baba's coming. Yeah, Jai Baba.
Thank you, Rosalie. Beautiful, just beautiful. I think you brought a lot of aspects of Bob to us. Thanks, Rosalie. Gabriella, Jai Baba. No, you're muted, darling. Let's see. There you go.
Okay, I was just gonna say after Kathy's song, I took my hand down, but you got me. Kathy was lovely, absolutely lovely. Thank you. And this has just been so nice. Well, Bob was always very picky about his guitar chords, and when I would figure out a song, he would come and correct me, and he'd say, "If you're gonna play it, you have to play it right." So this is in great apologies to Bob Brown right now. He's not here to argue with me, so I do the best I can, but his chords are definitely more on the advanced level. So this is one, I think Jane sang it so beautifully. I'm waiting for like Phil Ludwig or somebody to take all of Bob Brown's stuff that was on cassette and put it on digital, because we need it. There's so much richness in this. I'm still listening to the old tapes. Oh, Meher, most beautiful is the sun in your eyes. Meher, most beautiful as the cool, rainy skies. Is your sadra soaking wet, or is it fresh and dry? Will we ever come to know that every tear you cry is so we understand that you, within your plan, have taken birth as the God-man? Oh, Meher, most beautiful, you are life beyond all form. You command the 7 plains that all saints adorn. You, every age just passes by in the twinkling of your eye. Will we ever understand that every tear you cry is so well understand that you, within your plan, have taken birth as the God-man? Oh, Meher, most beautiful, you have lived your life with men. Will we truly love you, and not just now and then? Will we only think of you as the Avatar? Will we ever come to know just who you really are, so we understand that you, within your plan, have taken birth as the God-man? Oh, Meher, most beautiful. Oh, Meher, most beautiful.
Jay Baba. Well, I'm glad I called you. What a wonderful song. So beautifully done. Thank you, Gabriela. Jay Baba.
Hey, Bob.
Well, I'm looking here. Dana, I wanted to ask Dana Ferry, did you have anything?
The only thing that occurred to me to tell a little story about how I got a cockamamie idea to go to India one time during the summer when we were asked not to come. And I went to Delhi and stayed with my friend Kusum Singh, and she was lonely. Her husband was working out of the country, and she said, "Oh no, Delhi's very cool in the summer." Haha. It was cooler that summer. It was only 105. But after I stayed in Delhi with Kusum, I went down to Bombay. I think it was still Bombay in those days. And I got sick. And I was quite sick, and I got myself to Pune, but I was really ill, and I was planning to go back to America, not having made it to Nagar. And Jane and Bob rescued me. Somehow we all stayed at the Jimmy Lodge, and they threw me up on the upstairs out under the stars and sang me back to health. They really did. They just serenaded me until I got well. Then they threw me in a taxi and we all went to Nagar, and I had one of the best stays in India I've ever had. It was Bob Aaron's story about serenading his children that reminded me of that. I'd forgotten about that, but they really saved my spiritual life, I'd say, that trip. I was going the next day to go buy my ticket, to change my ticket, go back to the States. And they said, no, just, you have to listen for a while. Just lie here and listen. It was lovely. One other tiny thing it was big for me, tiny for Bob, was in an earlier trip, he had gone with his earlier wife, Jane, and she had gotten laryngitis. And Bob said, Dana, you know the songs, you sing them with me. And I sang in Mondley Hall with him and had my 15 minutes of glory singing with Bob Brown, which was a high point of my life, I have to say. Jay Bob.
Do you remember any of the songs that you remembered to sing with him?
I can't remember what they were. I mean, they were the early ones because it was in 1974.
Yeah.
Early ones.
Oh, how wonderful that must have been.
That was a great treat for me, as you can imagine.
Yeah. And to be sung back to health is quite huge. They really did feel the healing in the world together. They just knew a lot to do with them. Astounding. Thank you.
Thanks for calling on me, Ruthie. I wasn't really planning to talk, but.
Well, I knew you were around in those days, and yeah, those times of singing in the original kitchen. And
we were all together then.
That was so.
Kids, Baba's kids.
Baba's kids. Yeah. Jay Baba. Chris Barker, I just wonder if you had anything else you wanted to offer. You don't have to, but I'll just ask.
Yep, I could do that. One more Bob Brown story that I remember is that Bob was so immensely talented. What a songwriter, what a singer, what a guitarist, that he was so good that he could have been a rock star. And I remember sometimes at the center, there were a couple of times when I saw him in the early 70s and he'd say, Chris Barker, come step into my black Cadillac. I'm going to make you a rock and roll star. And that was pretty funny, but what it really was a reflection of what was on his mind about he was so close, I think, to being a rock star. Okay, here's a song. I'm going to plug in this microphone and so hopefully, can you still hear me?
You will like to see that reaches every distant shore. You will like the river that rolls. You will like the mountains that span the highest places. You will like the rain that falls on love's graces. You are like the baby born that cries for tenderness. But you are the maker of saints. You are eternal bliss. You are like the brightest star that shines on distant places. You are like the rain that falls on whom love graces. You are like the mountain stream that rushes to the source. But you are the ocean, and these drops give you remorse. You are like the living us, created sun that pierces every cloud. Your silence is ringing, thundering so loud. You are really Lord of Lords. Your love is all embracing. You are like the rain that falls on whom love graces. You are like the rain that falls on whom love graces.
Jay Baba. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rendition of that song, Chris. Just kind of took me back there. All right, anyone else want to share something? I thought what I might do is close today's gathering with Victory Unto Thee.
Did I see Kathy's hand raising that she might do another song?
Yeah, I did too.
I was thinking of course, I was thinking of Victory Unto Thee, but I also thought of that appropriate song that we could all sing along. By the way, that was, Chris, I was just thinking that one was the song I was thinking of singing, that one or this one. So you're very psychic. That's such a fabulous song. Thanks. Father of my song, I thought if we all sang together. Let's see. Oh, that's St. Francis. Sorry. Let's see. Think of you right now. No, that's, I guess one. Okay. Oh, St. Francis. Okay, just a minute. How does Father of my song start? Oh, God.
Increase volume.
What's that? Was that funny?
I'm thinking of it.
I think of you right now.
Oh, I think of you. Oh, thank you for helping me think right now. I think of you right now. Your kiss upon my brow. You always understand. You're the unseen guiding hand. You lead me to the light. Come what may or might. Come what's right or wrong. You're the Father of my song. Some say you're the Father in heaven. You gave sight to the blind. Some claim you healed the lame and you gave the beggar wine. Well, for me, I need no miracles, 'cause what you made right, you won't make wrong. The miracle is you're the Father of my song. I think of you as sweet Mayhair, sweet Jesus, Buddha, Ram. The miracle is your grace, your love, the healing balm. The only strength you know is the firmament of your depth, and the only weakness you show is the tears your lovers ever wept. The tears your lovers ever wept. Some say you're the Father in heaven. You gave sight to the blind. Some claim you heal the lame. You gave the beggar wine. But for me, I need no miracles, 'cause what you made right, you won't make wrong. The miracle is you're the Father of my song. The miracle is you're the Father of our song. The miracle is you're the Father of your song. Thank you, Bob, for writing so many beautiful
Woo! That was beautiful.
that make us all so happy. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Baba, for Bob.
Bravo for Bob. That's right.
And Bob was fun. That's another thing. He was fun. And today's been so much fun.
Oh,
this
good.
has been fun. This has been the funnest concert. Yeah.
I'm gonna, as I said,
Love it.
I think I'd like to just end it with something from Jim Meyer, since he's not here today. He was at the other one and he was very much happy to be there. So I just wanted to close with Victory Unto Thee by Bob Brown and sung by his friend Jim.
In wisdom's firmament, the moon of love is rising full, and love's flood tide in surging waves is flowing everywhere. O Lord, how full of bliss thou art! Victory unto thee, victory unto thee, victory unto thee, victory unto thee. On every side shine devotees like stars around the moon. Their friend the Lord, all merciful, joyously plays with them. Behold, the gates of paradise today are open wide. Victory unto thee, victory unto thee, victory unto thee, victory unto thee. The soft spring wind of a new day raises fresh waves of joy. Gently it carries to the earth the fragrance of God's love, till all the yogis, drunk with bliss, are lost in ecstasy. Victory unto thee, victory unto thee, victory unto thee. Upon the sea of the world unfolds the lotus of the new day, and there the Lord sits enshrined in blissful majesty. See how the bees are mad with joy, sipping the nectar there. and victory unto thee. Victory unto thee. Victory unto thee. Behold the Christ's radiant face, which so enchants our hearts and captivates the universe. About his lotus feet, bands of ecstatic holy men are dancing in delight. They're lost in ecstasy. Victory unto thee. Victory unto thee. Victory unto thee. What matchless loveliness is Mayhair, what infinite content pervades our hearts when he appears. Oh, brothers, I humbly beg you, one and all, to sing our Master's praise and victory unto thee. Victory unto thee. Victory unto thee.
Jai Baba, why don't we all have a moment of silence together? Jai Baba. If you want to unmute. Avatar, Meher Baba. Jai. Avatar.
Meher Baba ki jai.
Avatar.
Avatar Meher Baba ki